Tinubu government to share 185 billion naira palliative to states, capital territory to address impact of subsidy removal. Can you imagine? Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, who announced the package in Abuja on Thursday, shortly after the National Economic Council meeting, said each state will receive 5 billion naira. Now, wow, this palliative, they've not told us the criteria for sharing it. Who are they sharing it to? How did they make up their list? How did they identify the people that should benefit from it? We don't know. All these are scams, I tell you. And who is going to monitor the sharing? That is truth. The governors are going to get their own first. Oh, wow. To cushion the economic hardship facing Nigerians as a result of the first subsidy removal, the Nigerian government says it will share 185 billion naira to 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory as palliatives. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, who announced the package in Abuja on Thursday shortly after the National Economic Council meeting, said each state will get or receive 5 billion naira. The meeting was chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. The council is made up of governors of 36 states, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, and other officials. So there's a question here that we need to ask. Okay, if you are giving out 185 billion naira to all the 36 states, that means you are sharing 5 billion to each state. The question is, now that you said subsidy is back and now you want to share palliative, does it really make sense? That is a big question that we need to ask ourselves. Why didn't this palliative come before now? Why did you delay so much? And now that the palliative, you are bringing it and subsidy is coming back. So what again is the benefit of sharing this palliative? Why not reinvest this money in something else that will benefit Nigerians and then continue with your subsidy so that Nigerians can breathe? Sometimes when our government make decisions, they leave open holes for questions and for suspicions. Okay, now you remove a first subsidy since you came in and then started floating the naira exchange rate. People are suffering and crying. Now, before Buhari left office, he collected $800 million as palliative from the World Bank. Okay, and to be shared among Nigerians to cushion the effect of palliative. Or now, since 3 months now that Tinubu entered, that money, nobody could account for it. Nobody could tell us where the money is. Okay. At a point, they said they were going to give 8,000 naira each to each family, not even one person, to each family for 6 months. So if there are 3 people in the family, or if there are 8 people in the family, they will have 8,000 naira. Meanwhile, a bag of rice is almost 50,000 naira. They can't even buy cooking gas, not to talk of petrol for the car. Okay. So all of these, and even at that, the money was not shared. Now that Nigerians have cried and cried and cried, and now subsidy is to come back, meaning that the fuel price should come back to where it was before now. Okay, so if that is going to happen, why still sharing the billions across all the states? There's conflict of interest in this matter. There are things that are not very clear in this matter. Okay, so I strongly suspected, but let's see. There are a few comments here. Let's see people's view on this matter as we speak. The great day of great decision that will determine which way Nigeria exactly, and that is the day the tribunal will come out with a judgment. State governors should do justice if really this is sent to them. People are suffering. The question is it enough? Is it adequate? Is it the best of decisions? Is it the best way to cushion the effect of first subsidy removal? We should think of something that is more sustainable and with higher value. Yeah? Someone said, do you only have Federal Capital Territory in this country? What is the difference between subsidy and palliative? That is the question. So why not use the money for subsidy and forget about it and let people breathe and go about their normal business? It's like removing it from point A and putting it in point B of the same plane. That is it, on the same level. The money that you are putting for subsidy is to make life easy. You remove the money for subsidy and you want to share it as palliative. It's the same, trying to achieve the same aim in a different way, and if is even in a less effective way. That is a very good question. Eh? That's a very good question. There's no difference between the subsidy and palliative. They are all ways of subsidizing the economic effect. Someone is a cashing out mode activated for politicians. Exactly. Because when that 5 billion gets into the state, what is going to, it's not going to get to the people. Or what it get to the people will be peanuts. Politicians, once they give 10 people, they will say they have given 1,000 people. And they come up with fictitious names. APC-led administration brought hardship. We know. Clueless approach, that's correct. Only Borno State will benefit from this. Why? Is it because Shetima chaired the National Economic Council meeting? I don't think it is true. Okay. Government of assurance. What kind of assurance? What are you assuring? Looting Promax. Perfect. It's looting Promax because we know that that money is not going to get to the citizens or intended recipients. So it's looting Promax, and I agree with that totally. Okay, only to share this Agbadoman knows. Not even Buhari was sharing, the government of PDP was sharing for 16 years, APC has been for 8 years and sharing, and they are continuing to share at the expense of the lives of Nigerians. Someone say it is well with the good people of Nigeria, God will see us through. That's a prayer. State governors pocket money, bagam, and that is true. Because definitely when it gets to the state, it's going to land on the table of the governor, and the governor will determine what happens to the money. The federal government should be disbursing these palliatives into our respective bank account. Who is going to compile the account? How will you show your name self will be in the list? Who is compiling the list? And what is the criteria for compiling the list? All of that we don't know. Federal government should fix our refineries. Yes, that is the first thing. But they don't want to do it because the politicians have interest in foreign refineries, and that is where their interest is. Just to enrich the governors, 5 billion naira for each state of federation, including FCT. Looting continued. If cluelessness was a person, I am telling you, we would have overgrown by now. It would have overgrown by now. Someone say, Mr. President, please let's think of mechanized farming. All the state government in collaboration with the federal government in collaboration with federal government should begin in earnest mechanized farms across the jewel zones of the country. This will go a long way to reduce hunger, bring about revolution in manufacturing and robust export that will increase foreign earnings. Who told you they don't know all of these things? They just don't want to do it because their selfish interest is outright sheer wickedness. This has nothing to offer. Exactly. Okay, looting continue. We don't need it. Repair our refineries. Yes, we don't need all this palliative of 5,000, 8,000 naira to each family. Go and repair our refineries, and then let the price of the fuel come down and let the common man go about his normal business. Please, President, do not share that money. Put it in our refineries to work for where he won't do it. He won't do it. We need palliative of food for each state for the need of everyone. God or the poor shall always be our God. How are they going to share it? Nobody knows the criteria. Nobody knows how they're going to do it. Okay, federal government, Federal Republic of borrowing and sharing money. Yes, you borrow the money, and you borrow the money to share. That is true. He borrowed the money to share. How can you borrow and put in a project that cannot pay it back? That's a bad business. That's a bad business. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment on this sharing of palliatives across all the 36 states of Nigeria, including the FCT.